Moving on to our next story now. The United States has sanctioned two senior leaders from Pacific Island nations over alleged corruption, warning that their actions help China expand its influence in a strategically sensitive region. The U.S. State Department has imposed sanctions on Hokkons Baules and the president of Palau's Senate, and Anderson Jibas, a former mayor in the Marshall Islands. Well, under the sanctions, the two leaders and their immediate family members are banned from entering America.
The United States will continue to promote accountability for those who abuse public power for personal gain and steal from our citizens to enrich themselves. These designations reaffirm the United States' commitment to countering global corruption affecting U.S. interests.
Washington claims Baules accepted bribes to support China's business and political interests in Palau, misusing his position for personal gain. Meanwhile, Jibas is accused of misusing money from the Bikini Resettlement Trust, a U.S.-backed fund meant to support people displaced by American nuclear testing. The U.S. says this misuse of funds harmed public trust and wasted taxpayer money.
The Trump administration will not allow foreign public officials to steal from U.S. taxpayers or threaten U.S. interests. Today, State Department is publicly naming and banning from U.S. entry two corrupt government officials from the Pacific.
Baules is among the local leaders who've backed recognizing Beijing's rule over Taipei, openly pushing for closer ties with China. Well, he has denied the allegations of corruption, accusing the United States of acting unfairly and saying no evidence has been presented to Palau's government. Jibas has not issued any public response so far. The Trump administration says it will not tolerate foreign officials misusing U.S. funds or undermining American interests, warning that corruption will carry consequences. The State Department says both cases weakened U.S. interests and opened the door for China to expand its footprint in the Pacific, which Washington sees as strategically important. Both Palau and the Marshall Islands were under U.S. control after World War II. They became independent in the late 20th century. Today, they're part of the freely associated states, which have security agreements with the U.S. In exchange for American defense support and financial assistance, Washington gets military access in the region. These island nations sit along a crucial Pacific corridor, which the Pentagon sees as vital in avoiding any conflict with China, providing the U.S. with a buffer zone for its military operations. Palau and the Marshall Islands are among the few countries that recognize Taiwan as an independent island, a position China strongly opposes. Beijing has been pushing Pacific nations to switch diplomatic ties in favor of China. It's expanded trade and infrastructure ties in the region, and leaders like Baules have supported closer ties with China, placing these island nations at the center of growing U.S.-China competition. Well, with Washington tightening its stance on corruption and foreign influence, the sanctions send a clear signal that the Pacific Islands are now a front line in the wider geopolitical contest between the United States and China.
Power doesn't end quietly. Some deaths are not accidents. They are messages. A gunshot. A crowd. A country frozen. The killer disappears. The questions don't. This is not just about who died. It's about what followed. Governments fell. Armies moved. History rewrote itself. 5 leaders. 5 moments. One pattern, the assassination.